All right. What I want to do is demonstrate how do you test your code. So say you've been making a building, designing your website, and you've actually made something. What do you do now? How do you test it? So there's a few things we can do to test our code. So what I've done is I've put up a website here, um, and I just want you to click to download this website. It's been zipped, which means it's been put inside a folder, and its file size has been reduced, compressed. So it's all in this folder. So we need to download that first. So click on that. Now, it may not give you this downloads button on the side. If you have opened something on Google Classroom and you can't see the download button, sometimes you have to click these three buttons here and look for the option where it says open in another page. Since mine's given me the download button, I haven't got that open another page option. Okay, so that's just a hint if you get stuck. So we want to download the zip file, and I'm going to download. Just remember, zip files are they're a package that contains what you're trying to download. So you have to basically take out the contents of the zip file. Now, if you don't know how to do this on a Windows machine, let me know, because on a Mac it's kind of easy. On a Windows machine, it might be a little bit harder for you. So I've got my zip file here because I'm using Chrome. I can drag that and I can put that on the desktop. Sometimes I can drag that and put on the desktop the actual zip file. But remember, this is not the file I want. I want the contents of this file. So we've got to open it and grab the contents. Now, if you're having trouble putting things on the desktop because of the permissions on the computer, go open, click on your rubbish bin and go to the downloads area. And in the downloads, drag this file off and drop it in the downloads area. Okay, it'll probably already be there. So check before you drag it off. Anyway, so either way, if it lets you drag it onto the desktop, great stuff. Now what we want to do is I'm just going to close that for now, so it's gone, and I can close this tab, and we'll go back to there. Okay, so pretty much it works the same way on a Windows computer. We have to use software and open the zip file to get the folder out. So double click it, or right click on it and open. Now we want to open it with some utility that allows you to open the zip file. There's different software that can do that. If you double click it, hopefully it allows you. On a Mac computer, it just takes the folder straight out. So it's very simple. This is it. This is what I was after. On the Windows computer, it'll open a window and you'll see this file in a window. You'll see a window with this in it. What you have to do then is drag that out of the window and put it somewhere, because it's still inside here. You're actually getting a view what's inside the file. What you do is have to drag it out. So this is what you're after, and then you can dump that. Okay, but just be aware, if you get stuck, please ask me for help about getting stuff out of a zip file. I'm not sure what you guys have, if you've done a lot of that. Okay, so this is now my website here that I'm after. I'll just shrink that down for now. This is our website we're after. Identify, find the software brackets. You should have made a shortcut for it. If you haven't, look for the magnifying glass and search for brackets and open it. You want to drag the folder here that you've got. If it's in the downloads one, you need to drag it and put it into this grey area here. If you drop it there, you now got all access to the files. So hopefully so far so good. If at any time you get stuck, first ask your neighbor, and if they don't know, just ask me for help. But this video, I think, should help you enough. Okay, so we'll just, there's the files there, and it's got some of the things. This is a 3-page website, as you can see. It has a style sheet inside the folder there, styles, and it has some images in the images folder. So it's pretty much set up like a project you guys might build. Anyway, we're going to preview it so I can show you what we're doing with this one. So there we go. It's a nice colourful one. It's got some photos here. Bit of a table. They expand if only one of them expands. And there's a tab with a embedded Google map. Happy to show you how to do this stuff if you're needing help with it. So anyway, my website seems to be okay. But what I want to do is, what I really need to do is do a bit of testing, because it looks okay, but we need to check. First of all, I might have made an error with these things here, these blue things called tags, my HTML page. Or possibly I made some errors with my CSS, my styles here. Okay, there might be a missing semicolon, or I might have missed a bracket, and you can't tell sometimes when you're looking at a web page if there's mistakes. So we're going to check our we're going to check our HTML pages first, and then the style sheet, and we're going to just make sure they are actually working. So what you need to do is open a web browser and navigate to start typing, searching for what we need is an online validator. So since it's this page here is a HTML page, we'll go HTML validator. And there's an HTML validator. There's a few of them to choose from. So I'm just going to go with the first one here. And it says there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can, if the website's already online, you can type out the address called the URL, resource location, I think it's uniform resource location locator. Anyway, that's the URL up here. That's what the website thing. So if it's on the internet, you can type that in. But most of our websites are on our computer, like here. So there's no way you can do it is you can upload and you can search for the file and you can actually try and find it. So I'll do one of them like this so you can see how it works. Choose it. I put mine on the desktop, and all I have to do now is remember what it's called. My website's called All About Me. So I'll search for that. There it is. And I'm going to search, I want to check my HTML page, my index one, and see if I've made any errors when I coded. So let's check it. No errors. Wow, that's pretty lucky. So at this point, I want to, I guess, find out if I've made if there is errors or no errors. I want to take a screenshot of this, that I've checked this error page, that I've checked it and it's fine, of results for index.html, and I want to basically take a photo of that to put it in my testing, make a Google table, Google document with a table in it, and just have HTML validation, and then put that photo in that you've validated that one page. Now we've only validated one page, but we've got 3 pages to validate because you've got to validate all your pages. So I'll go back. Now another way to do it is by direct input. This is usually the way I do it. So I usually go into that tab. We've validated that page. So we can go to the About Me. I click in there and I go Command A, to select everything, and Command C to copy everything. Then I go back That was Command A for select all, Command C to copy. So now it's Command V to paste everything. So I paste all my code in, and you can see it's all my code. And I can go, let's check the HTML. And it takes a little while. And let's see, scroll down. Oh, yep, got some errors. Okay, so if you get this, you want to take a screenshot of it. Of course, you want to take a screenshot of evidence of what page it is as well, and what errors you've got. So it's basically saying this iframe that's being used to embed the map is obsolete. Shouldn't be using that. Oh, sorry, the frame border on the iframe is now obsolete. You're supposed to use CSS to style it. Oops. So to fix it, I'll have to go back into my HTML page and actually fix this error, run it again, and screenshot that I've fixed it. So this would be in a table saying, checking my HTML page, and then I'd have to have an area saying modifications when I've fixed it. Okay, so this would be showing I fixed my error, a picture before and after, and that's how you check your HTML pages. Okay, now let's check CSS. So we've got, I won't do the last photos one because there's no point. There's no point. You get the idea. So anyway, we'll go to this style sheet because this is CSS. This is not HTML. We don't want to try and check our CSS in an HTML validator. That will not work. So we have to go out of there and type in, do a search, CSS validator. Now, if you try and validate CSS in an HTML page, of course, it will not work, and it'll just won't work. So we've got the same options because it's by the same people. Do we want to go file upload or by direct input? I'll do direct input because it seems a bit faster if you get used to going really fast with it. So, copy and paste, and now I'll check it, and hopefully I get no errors on this one. Yay, no errors. So screenshot, you definitely want to screenshot this here and put that in as your CSS has been validated. Now down here, there's actually a couple of things you can put in as well. You can copy and paste these paragraphs here and put these in the footer if you want. One of these, if you like that style, you can put this in the footer of your web page, say your index page. So if I copy that, go back into my website, down here, I don't have a footer, but I can put a footer in. That's easy. Okay. And I might just paste in that code that they just gave me. Okay, so, and that's basically saying I've checked it with I've checked it and it's come back perfect. So if I now go to my page website and I view it, right down the bottom, right on the corner here, you can see I've validated it, and I've got my CSS evidence that I validated my page properly. So that's great. I would put that, if I was doing an assignment, I would put in that. That's really good evidence as well that you've done it. Okay. What else can we do? So that's HTML and CSS. Now sometimes you have you want to check your website, and that's testing your HTML and CSS pages, but sometimes you need to spell check as well. So on your index page, for instance, if you've got writing, here's a paragraph, you don't know if your spelling is correct. So I would copy and paste and open software. I'm going to use Microsoft Word on my computer, but you can use anything where you can spell check, and paste in your text, and just look for any spelling errors. So run spelling and grammar or something, and it says, yep, spelling and grammar's thing, and there was no errors. Awesome. So that's one way. And now what I would do once you've done that is take a screenshot that you've spell checked. Take a screenshot of that you've spell checked your as evidence that you did spell checking. Okay, so that's something else you can do. What else could I do? Actually, there's another really good software that I use a lot. It's actually awesome for this sort of thing, for spell checking and grammar. It's so I grab all my writing, and I will go into just a blank web page up here. And I've actually got this plugin. If you look over here up the top there, it's called Grammarly. Now, that Grammarly plugin is awesome. It checks all your spelling all the time. So but you can actually just check documents. So I can actually go, I'll make a new document. But say I'm typing something, Grammarly will actually pick up my errors when I'm typing. See, so if I'm saying Rapunzel, actually, Grammarly sometimes. Okay, and it didn't work that time. Great. Anyway, Grammarly usually helps me with spelling. We'll use it for checking our document, our website content. You could use Microsoft Word, you see. No. Okay. So you can paste it into here, and see Grammarly checks all the stuff and says, is that really what you want, or you want to change it to this? And so this is a really good thing to make sure all your writing is actually perfect. Okay, so that's one way. That's another thing you can do. What else can we do? Yep, no, that's good. That's oh yeah, need to check your web pages that they work in not just Chrome. So I'm using the browser up here called Chrome, and my website seems to be displaying okay. But what happens if I use another web browser? So what we can do is we can close brackets for now. We can open on the folder. We can right click and we can actually tell it which one to open with. So by default, I made mine open in Chrome. So I should have taken a screenshot of every page. I should have gone like this: double click, open, take a screenshot with the name of the browser here, Chrome. So that way, it's evidence that I've tested that web page in Chrome. But you need to do that for every page. So you've got 3 pages, so there'll be 3 screenshots that you've tested in Chrome, photos and that as well. But now I want to check it in another browser. I want to check it actually in 3 browsers, so that's going to be 9 web pages, photos. So instead I'll go, okay, I've tried Chrome. I don't want to try Chromium because that's the same product as Chrome. Firefox, yep. I haven't tried Firefox, so I open my web page in Firefox. Now, if you can come up with a really fast way of doing this, like an online checker that allows you to check heaps of different ones really quick, that's very good for you to do. But I'm just doing it the long way. So I will check every page and take a photo of every page that the picture's displaying. If I've got an animation or a movie playing, that it's all working fine, everything's lined up, that my styles are working. Like in this case, the hover over style is working. But sometimes, like rotational things, like if there's a rotate on here, transition, might not work on on Firefox, so you have to actually fix it. Right, take a screenshot of the page as evidence that you checked it in Firefox, and you need to do that for every page. Okay, so every page, screenshot. Maybe Google Maps doesn't work in this one. Oh, it does. But, you've got to check all the errors for anything. And screenshot. So you have 3 pages for every web browser. So that's 2 web browsers. We need a third one. So I'll go back. And what about another one? Yes, we got Safari. Woohoo! Trick is trying to have 3 websites browsers. So everything looks like it's displaying, and the colors seem to be okay. Hover over is working. Galleries displaying. Maps working. Yep. So it's all seems to be okay. And you want to basically screenshot again the 3 pages with the word Safari up here as evidence that you've tested it in 3 web pages. So that will be a few things of testing. Now I'll put up a document on all the things you can test, and you want to just be really thorough with your testing. And so hopefully you now will know some things you can start testing for. Spelling. You could get someone to use your website and see if it's actually working. It's easy to use. That's called usability testing. You could get someone to you could get see if the links work. Are all the links in the web page working? Checking them and just do links testing. All you have to do is basically have I tested the links and they're working? Yes or no. List. You could have a list doing that. I would check for things like animations or movies displaying correctly, or if I've got sound audio files, do they play in all the browsers? That's important. And is everything lining up? That's very important, that your colors and everything are working. The final test, and the most important test, is did you meet the brief? Did you meet the requirements or the specifications that the assignment asks you to do? So if the assignment says build 3 web pages and put a image and text on one, a video on another page, and maybe a movie on another page, you need to have a list of those things saying, have I met the requirements of the project? Yes, I built 3, and have a list. 3 web pages, yes, check. Basically, be able to check it off and test that you actually met the requirements. That's actually specifications testing, and that's actually a very, very important one. If you don't do specifications testing, then you don't know if you've passed the assignment. If you are wanting to get higher marks, like excellences and stuff, then you have to be super thorough with your testing and prove that you've done modifications, that you've actually tested things and fixed errors. So if you get an error, I know that when you're building a website, you always get errors. You should take pictures of those errors and keep them as evidence that when you fix those errors, you can have evidence that you've fixed errors, modifications. Okay, it's no good just having a website and saying I tested it and there was no errors. It's no good doing that. You really want to prove that you've been fixing things and modifying things. Okay, so make sure you have evidence for that if you want high marks. If you've changed color schemes, anything like that, make sure you write that down somewhere, that you changed and modified because it was better. If you made a layout in your planning at the beginning, see we've got our planning here, our layout, and you start building this, but then after a while when you're building it, you don't like this layout anymore, and you change it, then write it somewhere that you changed and modify it, and write your reasoning. Put your reasoning down why you changed it. That also is going to help towards getting higher marks. Okay. Anyway, I hope that this all gives you some advice on to how to do your project and how to do thorough testing.